This is gallium, soft metal and one of the key elements in the production of modern electronics. China produces 98% of all gallium in the world. A similar situation with another important metal, germanium. 68% of world production falls on the People's Republic of China. The EU's dependence on the supply of these elements can be compared to the dependence on Russia's energy, which became a big challenge for Brussels after the start of a full-scale Russian war against Ukraine. But in the case of China, it will be easier to overcome this dependence.
There is no such critical dependence as with the case of the aggressor's country. After all, there are countries such as South Korea, Kazakhstan, Germany, Canada, and the United States, which can easily begin to produce a sufficient amount of gallium and germanium. This is not a problem in technology, and it is not a matter of some technological or patent limits. It has always been a matter of price. China had the opportunity to produce these materials at the lowest cost.
On July the 3rd, Beijing restricted the export of these elements allegedly to protect national security. In fact, this is a continuation of the trade war between China and the West. Earlier, the US restricted the export of microchip machines so that Beijing could not use them to strengthen its army. The sanctions were supported by a number of EU countries and Japan. Therefore, in response, China limited the export of raw materials for chips. In the European Union, this has already caused a strong reaction because gallium and germanium are important elements in the production of 5G stations and solar panels. Decision by China regarding export of gallium and germanium clearly shows that the Communist Party will put on its economic boxing gloves sooner rather than later. Nicola Bia, Vice President of the European Parliament, in an interview with China Watcher Politico. In addition to the economy, China is also upping the ante in diplomacy. Beijing, without explanation, cancelled the visit of the head of EU diplomacy, Josep Borrell, which was supposed to take place on Sunday. Later, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said that they were waiting for the diplomat at any time convenient for both sides. In addition, relations with the Western democracies are aggravated by the gross violation of human rights in the PRC. For example, Beijing officially announced a $127,000 reward for each of Hong Kong's 8 opposition leaders. All of them received political asylum or even citizenship in countries with developed democracies. This international bounty hunt has already drawn strong reactions from the US, Australia and the UK. According to experts, the European Union will not stand aside either.
In fact, Beijing has once again stated that its legislation has an over-extraterritorial effect. This means that they believe that their justice, their laws apply to the whole world, and in fact once again delineate that the borders of China do not end anywhere. China will be able to continue the list, of course. It will be another blow, and there will also be an even greater deterioration with the EU, but in principle it can already be traced regardless of these circumstances.
The European Union is pursuing a joint policy of economic containment of Beijing with Washington. Brussels' recent economic security strategy aims to reduce the dependence of strategic manufacturing sectors on a single supplier. First of all, we are talking about China. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Danilo Kobza, UATV News.